Episode 300. Serena, you were so pathetic. Jake was shocked, and his face changed slightly.
How is it possible?
He dressed like that, and even Serena did not recognize him. How could the management of the amusement park recognize him? Carlito was not certain either.
I just think it's likely that way. Anyway, hurry back. If she comes and sees that you're missing, we're all finished.
Jake knew the seriousness of it and looked at the time on the car. It was already 7:51, only 9 minutes from the time agreed with her. From here to Barton Springs Bridge, it would take him around 7 or 8 minutes, but it would take him 20 minutes to reach the Cox Enterprises headquarters.
When will she arrive?
He asked Carlito.
20 minutes at most,
came the reply. Jake's expression became heavier. 4 years of patience wore his arrogance and sharpness out on the surface. He showed nothing. Despite that, at this moment, Jake couldn't help but feel a bit shocked. Had she already begun to suspect Carlito? It was all good before she went away. Had Carlito exposed himself in these 2 days? He narrowed his eyes and began to think about it. Lila was a hired gun of the management. This woman alone was nothing. The horrible thing was that the gun is loyal to her owner. If the gun was alarmed, the management would not let them go. The management was more than Alan White. It also included his entire family. The White family did business in musical instruments on the surface, with a lot of great musicians in the family. But the fact was that since his father's generation, their family business had began to fall. About 7 to 8 years ago, the current head of the White family, Alan's father, began to dabble in drugs. Cox Enterprises was just a sham. The real money laundering was controlled by the White family. Carlito had been loyal to the Coxes because Michael Cox had been very kind to him. But when the Coxes merged with the White family, he had immediately mentally cut himself off from them. The Whites were responsible for the drugs being supplied to teenagers, and Carlito had lost his son to a drug overdose. He hated every bit of this business. When Jake approached him all those years ago, he felt like he could avenge his son's death in some way if the Whites were caught. But now, if Jake did not go back in time, they would be caught, and all the progress they had made would go to waste. However, she was still waiting for him. He had a date with her at 8 o'clock. Be there or be square. With the woman's temperament, would she really wait for him on and on?
Come on!
Carlito whispered to him in an unprecedented panic.
If we're exposed, then not only what we have done in the past few years be wasted, but it's also likely for us to lose our lives. Even if you want to die, I don't.
Got it. Coming back right away, Jake said gloomily. Try to stall her. He should get there in 20 minutes. Otherwise, everything they had done in the past 4 years would be a waste, and Carlito's life would be in danger. But how could he leave Serena waiting for him? He could almost see Serena's soft smile, her blush, and a pair of eyes as pure as the deer's. Be there or be square. His heart hurt, and his chest filled with a sense of powerlessness. He was afraid he had to break his promise again. I am sorry. In the dark sky, there were thick clouds, and from time to time, there were lightning bolts. The thunder rang. The second loud thunder sounded, and large raindrops hit her head. The cold touch made Serena snap back to reality. Looking up, big drops of rain poured down. There was a drop on her eyelashes, and then it quickly slid down her eyes. It was raining. Heavy rain. She checked her watch next to the lamp. 8:38 p.m. He was late. 38 minutes late. And she had waited for an entire hour. Why hasn't he come yet? Did he forget? Did he forget that someone was waiting for him? Serena picked up the phone and wanted to make a phone call, but she had no number to call. The screen of the mobile phone was attacked by raindrops, and soon a layer of water blurred the screen. She blinked. The light of joy in her eyes dimmed, inch by inch, and then disappeared. But soon she curled her lips into a smile of self-deprecation. When daydreaming, this is your consequence. Except for a screen name, she knew nothing about him. She even imagined that this person was likely to be her Jake. But now, that possibility could be completely ruled out. If he was indeed Jake, he wouldn't let her wait for so long. Would he? If he was her husband, he would definitely come. Right? The rain was getting heavier. Maybe it was because the rain was too cold. But Serena felt her eyes were exceptionally warm. The warm liquid slid down her cheeks. She looked up at the splendid Barton Springs Bridge, curled her lips, and whispered to herself, "You deserve it. Not him. It must not be him. If it was him, he would definitely come. He loved her so much, so he would not have the heart to see her waiting in the rain. If it was really him, he would probably rush over to hug her and warm her with a straight face. Don't come here again in the future. Never come alone. Or no, he would say, standing in the rain is not allowed in the future. Then he would carry her home, help her take off her clothes and run her bath. This was Jake. Her husband would not break his promise, ever. Leaning on the railing of the bridge, Serena's hair had already been soaked. However, she did not feel cold. Her heart was in so much pain that it felt like it was being torn. Under the rain, she grabbed her phone and burst into tears. However, she should not cry at this time, right? What a funny scene. If anyone saw her, they would laugh at her, for she was overestimating herself, for she was daydreaming, for she was hallucinating and losing her mind. Serena also felt she was ridiculous. She forced herself to laugh, but when she laughed, the laughter was mixed with whimpers. She was crying and laughing, just like a crazy person. Yes, wasn't she a crazy person? She had been crazy from a while ago. Everyone was saying that she was delusional and no one believed her. Everyone looked at her with sympathy for her stupidity. Now even she had begun to sympathize with herself. The gust of wind made raging waves on the river. Serena looked at the endless dark river, laughed, and said loudly, "Serena, why are you so pathetic?" Pathetic indeed. So pathetic. For what? She did not even deserve to be called pathetic right now. "Do you think you're still the old Serena?" She turned and walked toward that Bugatti step by step, muttering to herself, half self-deprecating, half proud, or perhaps just plainly stating, "Without Jake Robinson, you are nothing."